Hey guys, welcome back to the 76 Cents Pod. My name is Ashley,
And my name is Lucia.
and today we are going to be roasting some of our least favorite people from history who did some pretty terrible things. Um,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
in no way a comprehensive list, just some that came to mind today when we were thinking about what to talk about on the pod. And we have a lot of hate in our hearts. So
because
we're here.
our our AP history classes really set us up for this episode. There were a lot of trash people that we learned about.
Exactly. And we learned too much about them. So
Yes.
yeah.
And I will say, not like everything that these people did were bad. Like some of them had good ideals or some good policies, but like they did some pretty messed up things that are pretty unforgivable. So,
Yeah. And they're
yeah.
dead, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, most of them are dead.
Most of these people. Yeah.
Yeah. There is like one or two that are alive. But we'll get to that. So, whenever we were coming up with the idea for this episode, the first man that came to mind for me was Andrew Jackson because I hate that man and I hate seeing him on our money. Why is he there? Was he on the $20 bill?
I think so. There's literally still a statue of him in downtown Raleigh. I don't know why it's still there. Take that down. Just because he was born here does not mean we want him there. Get him out.
Like, he was president, so like I will give him his due respect for that.
No,
but he was a terrible person.
I don't respect him even for that.
I respect the title. I do not respect him.
Sure. We'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. So why do we hate this man? First of all, if you don't know who Andrew Jackson is, not to be confused with Andrew Johnson, which I also don't really like him.
Another mess. I don't care about him.
That's a different story. So Andrew Jackson was president in like the 1800s. And in 1830, we have the Indian Removal Act, which, if you don't know, was like basically what caused the Trail of Tears. So basically, this was passed during his presidency, and it basically made 5 tribes of Native Americans move to reservations in Oklahoma. And those tribes are the Choctaw, Seminole, Creek, Chickasaw, and Cherokee nations. So they basically moved from their southern homelands to Oklahoma. Well, they didn't move; they were forced out.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice.
Yeah. So the bad thing about this is, one, you're stealing their land and making them go somewhere completely different. And I feel like to Native American culture, like the land is like super important. So
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, also they've been there so long. Like, you have no right.
Exactly. Yeah. And the second worst part about this is that they had to like walk to Oklahoma. Like they weren't like transported, like they just had to go. And so like so many people died during the Trail of Tears, from smallpox, starvation, exposure to the environment. Like, can you imagine walking that far? Like that's halfway across the country. Like, no.
And obviously they weren't being treated well. And they did not get a say in this. Andrew just said, I want the land, so bye.
Exactly.
That's rude. That's horrible.
Yeah. And like just the history that our nation has, like even before this point in time, of like basically treating natives like nothing, and that we're
as
able
savages.
to just come, literally you're savages, and we're gonna come in and take all of your stuff and claim it as ours, even though you've been here for thousands of years and have, like not only like have they been here, they have like a sentimental connection with like where they've been, and like the white people didn't care. They didn't care. So about 60,000 natives had to move to Oklahoma because of the Indian Removal Act, and about 6,000 died, like I said, from smallpox, starvation, or exposure. And if you think that 6,000 people isn't a lot of people, just for comparison, 2,977 people died in 9/11, and obviously that was terrible, and twice as many natives died in the Trail of Tears. So just think about that. And just think on that.
And if there is about 60,000 who were forced to move, and 6,000 died, that's literally 10%. Like,
Yeah.
that's the definition of being decimated.
And it probably was a higher number that died because like they
Exactly.
probably didn't keep a record of every native that died. And like, you know, it wouldn't have been an easy death either. Like these people died from starvation, exposure, like that would be a slow, painful death. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
So
atrocious.
Andrew Jackson trash. But I mean, this country still does not treat Native people that well. So
Yeah.
But this was one of the most atrocious events, probably.
Yes. Like, Andrew, why are you on R20?
Get him off.
You did not deserve
Nobody
that spot.
asked him for
Give
that.
it to FDR or something. I don't care who you give it to. Well, I do kind of care who you give it to. But
Just not him.
Just not him. Yeah, he does not deserve that.
He really
Out of
doesn't.
all the presidents, I'm like, who picked Andrew Jackson?
Literally. Like, I don't like what did he even do other things? I don't remember because this is like the most horrible thing that like everything is overshadowed. You know?
Yeah. And like I feel like he did do some good things, but like the only thing that I really remember from him is the Trail of Tears. So like his good
Exactly.
things that he
His
did not
legacy is
overshadow the negative.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Might be time to change that, but you know, we'll see.
yeah. Oh, and then there's that movement to like put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill instead. I'm like, okay, Harriet, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
At least she actually helped people.
Yeah, she was actually like a good American figure. Like Andrew Jackson just killed a ton of people with his like Indian Removal Act. Like I don't care about that man.
Exactly.
Okay.
The next one, very related. What's
Yes.
it? How do you pronounce this? Gutzon Borglum?
Gutzon Borglum? I don't know.
Anyways, basically, he came up with the idea for Mount Rushmore. One of the faces is Andrew Jackson, so that's already no. But yeah, why don't you explain the little story that you read?
Yeah, so basically this man was like the sculptor who came up with the idea for like Mount Rushmore. I don't think that he was the one who came up with like what faces. I think he initially wanted like history, like historical figures from like the West, like I can't even think of an example right now, but not like presidents, but someone else said like it would be a better tourist idea to like have presidents' faces on there. But basically why I don't like this man is because like the Lakota Sioux are native to the Black Hills in South Dakota, of course. And so they're like those are sacred mountains to them. And like why did you have to build it there? And like it was someone's idea to like bring tourism to South Dakota, and I'm like, okay, okay, sorry, we had a slight interruption, but back to what I was saying. So the Lakota Sioux, the Black Hills are like their sacred lands, basically. They have sacred mountains, and it was someone's idea to just put some tourist site up there in South Dakota, and I'm like, why? Like you could have literally picked anywhere else. Why there? And why did we have to like put these presidents' faces on this mountain? And by the way, I've been to Mount Rushmore. Like last year I went. It was not that great. It was not that great of a tourist attraction. I'm like, you get there and you expect it to be like huge, like in the pictures. You get there and you see like across the way, it's like you're on like one mountain and then it's like the mountain with like the actual Mount Rushmore on it. You're like looking at it. That crap looks so small, like from far away. And I'm like, y'all really had to ruin a sacred mountain for this?
Yeah,
for this?
It was just for capitalism at this point.
Yeah, like it was
they
not
just
that
wanted
serious.
people to go there and see it. I'm like, this first of all,
yeah,
the Lakota Sioux did not ask for you to do that. Second of all, nobody asked for you to even carve into the mountain. Like that probably, if it was built in that day, like that probably took so much, like so many supplies. Just
it was like the 1920s or 30s.
Okay, either way, they probably had like just too much going on over there and for nothing.
Yeah. And I'm like, I understand like wanting to bring tourism and like improve capitalism and whatever, but like I feel like there's a better way to go about that. I feel like there was a much better way.
Exactly.
Because
without disrespecting someone's land.
Yeah.
They did not agree. Like, even if they said they agreed to give it to you, it still has meaning to them. So why would you do that?
Yeah. And like the Sioux still like that land is like technically like their property.
Yeah.
Like it's in like the reservation. So like I just like why did you have to pick there? Like why did you have to do it right there? Makes no sense. Also, you have to drive like 4 hours through freaking nothing in South Dakota just to get to it. So I'm like, this isn't even that great of a tourist location, like ideally for people to get to. So I don't know. Like, I would much rather just like go see the actual mountains, I feel like.
Exactly.
Than
The
see Mount
scenery.
Rushmore.
See the nature, the
Yeah.
natural beauty.
Yeah, and like the Native American culture, like
Exactly.
learn about that. I would rather do that than see freaking Andrew Jackson's face
And 3
on
other
a big
white men.
mountain. No.
Exactly.
No. Who else is on Mount Rushmore? Hold up.
I think Washington's on there.
Yeah.
Who else?
It's, let's see, Jefferson and then Teddy Roosevelt.
So, just a mess. Teddy's like the most normal one out of those. The other 3 definitely owned slaves.
Like
Sorry to say, it's
Washington
true.
has a whole monument already.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson probably got a billion statues. I know
His
Teddy
house is
Roosevelt
still there.
does.
His house is still standing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that serious.
Monticello, like,
Yeah.
we can go see that.
Just go
That's
there.
a tourist attraction in itself.
It is.
Andrew Jackson. The fact
No.
that they put Andrew Jackson's face on there after the Trail of Tears, and you're gonna put this on a Native American sacred mountain, like, why? Why'd you do that?
Wait, let me read this description from the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. The jokes just write themselves. Symbolizing the ideals of freedom and democracy. This is a tribute to 4 presidents and their invaluable contributions to the United States. This memorial represents not only the past, but the promise for the future. Let me just stop right there.
In
freedom,
what way does this represent
democracy?
freedom? In what way? Please expand on that. Please, someone.
Everything that you just said was contradicted by their actions. I'm sorry to say. Teddy Roosevelt is the one that I understand because like he actually liked nature, but like the rest of them don't make any sense.
Yeah, but the thing about like Teddy Roosevelt, still he had like imperialism and crap.
Exactly.
Like this man wanted to
He's
take
still
over
bad.
like the Americas.
Yeah. Like they still got problems. This is not a tribute to symbolizing freedom and democracy. No.
Yeah, no, this is a symbol for taking over other people's land that
Colonizing.
they did not voluntarily get.
Exactly.
So like this is exactly what that is. I'm sorry. Like to the sculptor who came up with this idea, sir, like I know you were just trying to do your best. You're just trying to do your work, but you could have come up with something better. You really could have. Like, I'm sorry.
Anywhere else, any other people, just why did it have to be that?
And like the people that ended up on this monument, it's just so ironic. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You couldn't have picked like, I don't know, like instead of Andrew Jackson, like Abraham Lincoln or like anyone else.
Someone else.
Like literally anyone else. But it's none of my business.
Anyways, moving on. Moving on. The next person on our list, a famous one, Christopher Columbus. Really not much to say here. He came to America. This hashtag, quotation mark, discovered it. No, he did not discover it. Leif Erikson was there many years before him, just so you guys know. Second of all, he was just immediately racist. He was like, oh, this must be India because there's brown people. Like, okay.
And I guess it's just so funny.
Anywhere, but it's like, okay.
It's just so funny because he was like so dumb. Because first of all, like he was trying to get to one spot and then completely missed the continent.
Exactly.
Like, and then he thought it was India. Like, sir, are you stupid?
He is. And then he brought disease over and then killed a bunch of native people. So like, just 3 for 1.
Raped,
doing too much.
pillaged, killed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did everything that he didn't need to be doing. And nobody asked, like, just because, the queen, whatever, wants you to explore a new world, blah, blah, blah. No.
But
just stay home.
Also, Isabella, like the queen,
Mm-hmm.
she was also kind of trash because she
A
literally,
mess.
like, she was responsible for, like, getting rid of the Moors or, like, the Muslim people
Mm-hmm.
from, like, Spain and literally,
Ethnic
like,
cleansing.
literally sending them out of Spain. So
Genocide.
I'm like, this whole vibe is just off. Like,
Just all of them, because they wanted to take over the world. No, you're not seeing heaven for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, this whole genocide thing isn't really rolling with, like, with Christianity. Like, the fact that they, like, claimed she was, like, doing it for, like, Christianity.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm like,
I don't think God wants you to kill people. Isn't that one of the commandments?
Yeah, I don't think that was what he wanted. I think he wanted you to, like, spread the message to these people or, like, love. But not this. This is not what he wanted.
This is really not.
You had good intentions, but were they really that good?
No, not at all. Similarly, the next people on our list, we got Hitler and Stalin, the Nazi party in general. Not much to say here. You're all terrible.
Yeah. Well, Stalin wasn't a Nazi, but
okay, he was aligned. And the fact that there's still Nazis today, y'all lost.
Dude,
get over yourselves. I don't understand.
Like, unless you're in The Sound of Music, why you got a Nazi symbol? Like,
exactly.
No.
Nobody likes you. You are a white supremacist and you lost.
Oh my gosh, literally. Dude, okay, for context, I sent Lucia a TikTok recently, and it was like this cop was like busting into this lady's house, like looking for someone, and then like they weren't there, and she was like, "Do you have a warrant?" And he was like, "No." And then he just like wouldn't leave her house, and she was like, "Okay, like, could you leave then?" Like, and he was just like intimidatingly standing there, like questioning her, and she's like, "Dude, like, I don't know where the person is that you're looking for. Like, they're not here. Like, leave my house, please." And he just like would not leave, and he was like trying to intimidate her, and I was like, "You." And he looked like the freaking Nazi kid from The Sound of Music who like betrays the Von Trapp family, and I was like, same vibes. We hate them all. So
yeah. And he tried to sing that little song. No, get away. You are an adult. Get away from that girl.
Like in the song, he's like, "I'll take care of you," and I'm like, "You literally turned her family over to the Nazis.
You tried to kill her, so bye."
What?
Bye.
Sir, that is not protecting her. That is in fact the opposite.
When the dad rips up the Nazi flag, that's the best part of the movie.
King. We love that man.
Exactly.
Love that man.
R.I.P.
And we love Julie Andrews.
R.I.P. to Christopher. But yeah, we do love Julie Andrews. She's not dead though.
Yeah.
Maybe
let us take a moment for Betty White. A moment of silence. She is not involved in our roast list. Betty White, we love you, Queen.
Just a little break from the roast to say thank you, Betty, for all you've done.
Let's take a moment of silence. Okay. Amen. Wow. Respect. Love you, Betty. My car is named after Betty White. My car's name is Betty because I look at her as an old lady car. So, but you know what? Respect to Betty White.
She's the queen. Exactly.
However, no respect to Hitler or Stalin for obvious reasons. Once again, genocide, ethnic cleansing. This is just like the main theme of this roast session. I'm like, why did y'all have to kill all these people? Because they like looked a certain way or were a certain race or were a certain religion. Why?
They have a lot of hate in their hearts, but we also have hate for them. So.
Yeah, go watch Pocahontas. Someone like
I know.
You think I'm an ignorant savage.
Even
Like,
though they made her like fall in love with that man. But
yeah.
still.
Learn to
The
paint
songs
with
are
all the
good.
colors of the wind, y'all.
Exactly.
Learn to paint with all the colors of the wind.
Exactly. The rock is your brother. The stream is your brother.
Yes. And I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit,
Has a
has a
name.
name. Respect. Just respect other people. Like that's the whole concept.
That's the message, the moral of the story.
Respect people, respect life, respect the earth. That is the lesson that needs to be learned by these people that we are mentioning today. Unfortunately, most of them are dead, so it's too late for them. But it's not too late for you guys listening.
Yeah, please. You don't want to find yourself on this list.
Yeah. If you on this list, I'm sorry. You're going straight to hell. I'm so sorry. Unless you like really repent and you gonna need some saving, bro. You gonna need some saving. All right, on to our next person who has committed mass genocide. Robespierre. What's his first name? Maximilian?
I think so. Something
That's
French.
A fun name. So if you don't know who Robespierre is, he was involved with the French Revolution. So like basically French Revolution happened, they took down the monarchy, and then they had like this, what was it, like a council of people, and then Robespierre was like the main dude who was like pretty much the head of what was going on after the French Revolution, after the monarchy was gone, and he had the reign of terror. Just executed a ton of people. So basically he took away the right to like public trial, and they would just like, you would like come and either be acquitted or executed, like one of the two options. Like you would not have a trial. And then like there were also people who were just like chilling in prison who never got a trial, who were just like there because
they couldn't do anything.
So 17,000 people were executed. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
They got guillotined. And then 10,000, these are approximations by the way, 10,000 died in prison or without trial. So they were just chilling like in prison, like starving to death, probably like freezing to death. Pretty bad. Pretty bad, Robespierre.
Yeah, pretty bad.
And while like the ideals of the French Revolution were good, and I'm sure he had good ideas, like he was basically saying like anyone who disagreed with them, like you just gone. And I'm sorry, Maximilian, you really just can't kill everyone who disagrees with you. You really can't. Like, moral of the story, don't do that.
Please don't kill people just because you don't agree with them. That's the moral here. Don't be like Maximilian.
And I understand some of those people were still loyal to the monarchy and whatever, and you didn't vibe with that, but you didn't have to kill them.
They could have just lived in peace.
Yeah. They could have just been there on the side, chilling. But no, they were not. Yikes. On to our next person, Louis XIV. Another Frenchman.
He was absolute monarch. Basically ruled over the entire country. Didn't let anyone do anything.
The Sun King. He was also one of those people who was like, yeah, if you don't agree with me, bye.
You're dead.
Peace out.
You're dead. You're done. That was
You're done.
Him.
You're done.
You're done.
And honestly, like everyone thinks of Louis XIV as like a good leader, and I'm not saying that he like wasn't necessarily a good leader, but like he had all sorts of wars, and like I feel like he spent a lot of money on that, and that low-key like led up to the French Revolution. And then this man just had a big head.
Yeah. Why does his hair look like that? If you've ever looked at a picture of Louis XIV, just Google it right now. He got like, he has like this giant like wig thing. I don't know what it is.
Ooh, the fluffy, yes. And like the black wig.
That's not cute. That's probably why they killed him.
He looked like a poodle.
Yeah. Literally. Like, why does he look like that?
They called him the Sun King, and he was like, he was all about like divine right and whatever. And I'm like, you were not right. Like God's gift to the world, Louis. You were not.
You are just born here.
Yeah, like you were the 14th. You ain't
You're not
anything
that
special. You ain't anything special. You're not even the first Louis here. Like, come on.
You know how many kings, how many Louis you got to get to before you?
Yeah. And then we
13.
got Louis the 16th, man. He's even worse. He's two more down. And
Exactly.
he was French
I always
Revolution.
think they're so important. I'm like, no. There's like 10 other people before you with the same name. I gotta label you just to know who I'm talking about.
I gotta put a number after your name.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
you
sorry.
ain't special. Disgusting. Personality wise, disgusting. Yeah. I'll let you talk about the next one.
Yeah. Well, we ready. So speaking of numbers, we got Henry VIII, the infamous man tutor of England. In middle school social studies class, we used to watch Horrible Histories, and there was this one song about his wives. Basically, it went a little something like this. I don't remember the verses, but the chorus is like, divorced, beheaded, and died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Because that's what happened to his 6 wives.
Yes.
This man was so thirsty. He went through 6 wives, probably not in that long time. Like, I don't remember the period, but like, I don't know what, he just wanted an heir. He wanted a son. And so either he would be like, let's get married. Actually, you're not having my child. So bye.
Yeah.
Or he would kill them. And then he even invented a whole new religion, the Anglican Church, just because he wanted to marry another woman, one of the 6 women.
He was that thirsty. He was that thirsty.
Isn't that musical about his wives? What it's called? 6?
Bruh, I literally was about to bring that up. Okay, yep. I want to see it on Broadway. Abby Mueller is like playing Jane Seymour, and like love her sister Jessie from Waitress. So I'm trying to see this on Broadway. Back to the story though.
The songs are good. The man is horrible.
Yeah, and in the musical 6, they actually say like the beginning is like divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. So basically, this man was just a major hoe, and he wasn't that great of a person. But yeah, if I think 6, like the musical, is like online somewhere. Like I watched it. It's really good. You should go listen to the songs, watch it, support, see it live,
One of the songs is like popular on TikTok. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one? I know like all the songs, so I don't know which one
with the like, it's like the one with like the kisses, mistress.
Oh,
yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Don't Lose Your Head.
I think so.
That one's about Anne Boleyn. So yeah, I loved that song. But yeah, his first wife was Catherine of Aragon, and I feel like she just did not deserve to get divorced so publicly like that, and for him to just make a whole nother church, because he was like, I'm done with you.
He had like daughters, right? Was it with her? I don't remember.
Yes, I think she had daughters.
I think so.
And then I think Anne Boleyn might have also had a daughter. Okay. Jane Seymour.
He has 2 daughters and a son who died. I remember that.
Yeah, Jane Seymour had a son, she's the 3rd one who died.
She was young too.
Yeah, apparently she was like the one that he actually loved or something. But then he got married again. And was she the one? I think she was the other one who he like saw a portrait of her, and it was like really pretty, but like the person who like painted the portrait made her look better than she was in real life. And then like when he actually saw her, he was like, ew, bye. Yeah, and he was like mad. And then I don't know why he beheaded the next one. I think her name was also Catherine.
Probably just didn't like her at that
point. Then
the last one, he died, so that's why she survived.
Yeah.
But then I think his son became king, but then like his son died. It's just a whole mess.
Yeah, but the last one was like super young, and he was like super old, like when they got married. I'm pretty sure he was just a thought. Like
a pedophile, marrying into the family. He's just doing too much.
Like, you really didn't have to go to this extent to marry a new person every so often. Like, it just was bad. The fact that he's like, this is what he's known for, is having 6 wives. I'm like, That's embarrassing for you.
It really is. And they probably didn't like him.
That's the whole Six, the musical, is just them being like, I had it worse than you. Like,
Yep. Because
oh
they
my
hated
gosh.
him.
That musical is so good. I'm gonna go listen to those songs after this. Oh my gosh. I want to see it on Broadway so bad.
Everyone listen to Six.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it's worth it. And it's like kind of like punk rock. Like, well, it's not like, okay, the songs aren't like punk rocky, but like they're wearing like punk rock kind of outfits. And it's like really cool. So
Reimagining, you know.
yeah. And it's like not that long. It's only, I want to say, like 90 minutes for like the whole thing, which like for a musical is very short.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plug.
Yeah.
Hate the man, love the musical.
Yes. I love the musical because they just trash him. Like,
exactly.
That's the whole musical.
It just has so much hater energy, and that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Also, okay, in the song about Anne Boleyn, basically she's like saying that he was like running around like getting with all these other women and stuff because he's the king and whatever. He's a hoe. And then she had like an affair with someone or something, and he was like so mad, and he was like, nah, your head is coming off now. And that's why she was beheaded. And I'm like, that's a little hypocritical, Henry.
I know.
I think you need to look internally,
do
reflect.
Introspection.
Yeah. That man, just a mess. And he was not cute. How did he pull 6 wives?
He probably forced them to marry him.
It was just because he was king.
Yeah.
It was just because of that.
Yeah.
Disgusting. All right.
Another king. Oh, speaking of kings, yeah, we got George III on here. Just irrelevant. What did he do? He lost the colonies. Imagine having colonies, and then they don't have anything, and you still lose a war against them.
That's embarrassing for him.
Embarrassing.
Like, he just wanted all of our money, and then we were like, bye.
But imagine taxing your own people and they don't listen to you, and they dump your tea in the harbor.
And then they overthrow you, like, pretty much.
That's embarrassing.
Sir.
Ooh, I mean, we do love Jonathan Groff Hamilton, but the actual
George
man
III,
a mess.
He was a Hanover king. He was
Mhm.
German, ruling over England. I'm like, you didn't even belong here in the first place.
Oh, that's
what are you
the
doing?
Habsburgs. Yeah. But yeah, Jonathan Groff songs, Hamilton. Love him. Hate the man that he plays. He also is irrelevant. So that's that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Continuing on with the English British monarchy. Prince Andrew. So this is one of the ones who's alive. If you don't know about Prince Andrew, he's also a thought. So they have a long history of this behavior.
Adultery.
Pedophilia. Yeah.
Yeah, that as well.
Basically, if you don't know, the whole like Jeffrey Epstein thing happened, and apparently Prince Andrew was buddy with Jeffrey Epstein, and he there's like a picture of him with this girl. Her name is Virginia Roberts. I think she's a different last name now because she got married, but she was Virginia Roberts at the time. So she was like underage, and she was like forced to sleep with him basically because she was like part of Jeffrey Epstein's like pyramid scheme of like rape.
They're just like, yeah, trafficking children. Like,
yeah,
what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, so she was basically trafficked out to Prince Andrew, and he like denied it and denied that he ever even knew her, but there's a picture of them together. So I'm like, that's a lie.
Not looking good.
Like, you've at least met her, if not actually sexually assaulted her. So that's disgusting. Prince Andrew, you can just die. No offense.
That's not excusable. And no one even cares about you. So
yeah,
you're not going to become the king. Nope.
Disgusting. No. And continuing on with the monarchy.
Another one. Prince Charles. Also, also a pedophile. Kind of. because, I mean, I hope he rests in pieces because I don't care about the man. But he did die last year, if you guys remember. That horrible picture of him sitting in the car. He literally looks like he's on the brink of death. He is so old. And he thought Diana, no. May she rest in peace.
Wait, no, Prince Charles didn't die. Prince Philip died.
Oh, my bad. Okay, but Prince Charles still a mess. Philip, I don't care about him either. But yeah, Charles is the one that was married to Diana, right?
Yes.
He's so old compared to her. And he cheated on her and then got mad when she also had an affair. Like, you also did it first, bro. Second of all, no one likes you. Your kids don't even like you. At least I don't think Harry likes you. I don't know. William, he's another story. But Harry, he said, I'm leaving this monarchy. And he was right. Because they did not treat him well. They did not treat Meghan well. They did not treat his mother well. R.I.P. Princess Diana. She did not deserve any of that. Especially not from you, ugly man, ugly old man.
He literally like cheated on her with Camilla and then like basically like gaslighted her. And then like, I know for a fact Elizabeth had something to do with her death. I know for a fact. So
I believe it.
Like, something sus about that. And then when Diana was like living up her life, having a good time, he was just out here being all crusty.
Yeah.
Like, she was too hot for you, Charles.
And she was actually a good person. Like, she cared about people.
Advocate.
Exactly. Anyways, I wish he had been the one that died. I mean, I also think Philip should rest in pieces because he was very old, looking like he was 3 seconds away from running out of air in every photo that I've ever seen of him.
He looks like he's already dead in every picture.
I know. I was like, when he actually died, I was like, so you mean he wasn't dead this whole time? But Prince Charles, that's gonna be you soon. And I hope it's soon.
Oh, the British monarchy is gonna like come and cancel us.
If you guys are listening, this is all a joke. I'm just kidding.
Queen Elizabeth.
I would never say anything against you or your long line of ancestors.
Except I hate like every single one of them a little bit.
Princess Diana deserved better.
Yeah, she did. The English monarchy is just like, it's struggling throughout all time. Except for there were a few good ones. Like, who was it? Like William and Mary, who had the what was it called? Oh my gosh. The name of that document. What is the name of that document? It was kind of like the Bill of Rights for like,
I don't remember.
For like England's, not the Bill of Rights, but like, I can't even think of it. But
yeah, even if basically they did like things, I'm just like, no, you still contributed to imperialism. I can't forget that.
I can't forget that. Like, y'all were in every country, everywhere, South America,
North
India,
America, Australia, New Zealand. I can go on.
Literally every continent. Yikes. Literally every continent that has ever existed. You have been there. I think we need to evaluate that.
Yeah, please. Get help.
Oh my gosh. I actually had to read this book called Unfinished Empire for AP Euro. And it was about like the British Empire. And let me tell you, it was a mess. Like everything y'all did.
The sun never shines on the British Empire because you guys took over the entire world.
And like not in a good way. Like
not in
the fact that the British were just like, oh, we're like taking over these lands to help them.
No.
That
is a lie.
Like you're taking their tea and spices and like
and
controlling their people
and killing them.
Yeah, and taking all their money. Okay.
No.
Okay.
You're done.
Like that man from freaking Pirates of the Caribbean for the East India Company. Trash. Like I hate you all. No. It was just good business, sir.
No.
And then people died. He like blows up and then I'm like, you deserve that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the last one on our list, just a little pivot away, but we had to talk about it. Watson and Crick, trash. Just tell him, Ashley. Tell him to
Okay, for the people who aren't biology majors, or who didn't learn this in high school biology, Watson and Crick are trash. So basically, they stole another scientist. Her name was Rosalind Franklin. She basically did like chromatography and stuff, X-ray chromatography, to find like structures of different like molecular structures, basically. So she pretty much discovered that the structure of DNA was a double helix. Well, Watson and Crick literally went into her lab and like stole this research and then went back and made their own model and like won a whole Nobel Prize for it and got the credit for it. And Rosalind Franklin literally died from like, I'm pretty sure, radiation exposure from like the x-rays. And so she died pretty young, never got credit. She didn't get a Nobel Prize, and they can't award her a Nobel Prize because you can't do it. You can't award someone who's already died a Nobel Prize. So they couldn't even like recognize her for her work and contribution to finding the structure of DNA. And Watson and Crick are over here just chilling, like taking all the credit, thinking they're so amazing. And I'm like, y'all are actual trash.
I know.
Taking
It's
advantage
like-
of women and their hard work in the science industry, like especially back in that time, like that was a huge thing. Like, can you imagine like if we didn't know the structure of DNA and now
it's like I feel like a
oh
lot
my
of
gosh.
discoveries in biology have been in like the past century.
Yeah.
So like that really could have been a change, like a pivotal, monumental change in her life had she been recognized. And like obviously it's good that we now know, but it's like I'm still being taught, or at least I was being still taught in my classes, that it was Watson and Crick. And then they would like add on something about Rosalind. I'd be like, but that's just incorrect.
I watched a documentary.
Why do we need to bring up these men? They didn't do it.
I watched a documentary and it had like interviews of Watson and Crick, and like they asked them about Rosalind Franklin and they were so rude about it too. I was like, y'all can't even admit that you stole it, and like the whole world knows at this point. So you're just absolute trash. And the thing is, they got money from this too. Like it's not even just the recognition, like they've gotten money from this. So y'all are just making money off of her name.
This also
and all
makes
of her
me
hard
think
work.
of, you know, the Gila cells story. This makes me think of that too, because I read the book about her life.
Henrietta Lacks.
Basically, Henrietta Lacks, she had like cervical or pancreatic cancer, I think, and she was at a hospital, and they said they were like treating her, but they were just taking her cells because they like kept dividing and wouldn't stop dividing. So like you can use them for whatever stem cell research or whatever, but they didn't tell her, the scientists that were like supposedly like trying to cure her or whatever. And then like they just kept her cells and they kept dividing and they sold her cells everywhere. Meanwhile, her family is out here living in poverty, getting not a cent from the people who stole their mother's cells. Like, no, you did Henrietta Lacks so dirty. And now like people still use her cells to this day because they haven't died. But it's like it took so long for like them to even think about providing her family with any compensation for what they did.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to think about too, because I in my, what lab was it cellular biology? I think so,
Probably
like cellular molecular biology. We did like experiments and research in our lab on like cancer cell lines. So it's like weird to think about, like I'm using like someone's cells, like that's used to create this cell line, which basically is like the cells just replicate and you can use them for research, basically is what a cell line is. So like you can get like basically an infinite amount of cells because the cancer cells just keep like going and going and going. And so we were using a cell line. We weren't using her cells, I don't think, but it's just so weird to think about because it's like so many people have access to these cell lines and like need them for research, and like you have to buy them, like they're not cheap. So it's just so weird because I'm like, they literally didn't even get her consent. Like, you have to get consent for all sorts of these things. Like, you
Yeah.
have to, like, oh my gosh, like, that's so
They just took
morally
them and then
wrong.
like they're still using them today. Like just because they
Yeah.
like slapped an apology on it doesn't mean like they still didn't do that in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah, whoever did that, those scientists, trash.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, even if you were contributing to biology, you should have never done that.
Like, y'all need to take a medical ethics class. Like, what were
Please.
y'all doing back then? I'm sorry. Like, the history of STEM, like, a lot of the research that we had was like obtained like
Very horribly.
not like recent research, because there's obviously like regulations to that now, but like in the past, like it was freaking terrible. And at USC, the University of South Carolina, that I went to, there's a building that's named after this doctor, and it's called Sims, and we were like trying to get it renamed because this doctor did all this research for basically like gynecology research, but he did it on like unwilling Black women. So no, like, I understand like you were doing it for research and for like advancing science, but like consent, maybe? I don't know. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm glad that the science field has come a long way and people actually tried to act ethically, but that was a mess. Like, what were y'all doing?
I hope y'all learned some lessons from that.
Yeah. Like, can we move forward, please? Like, what was that?
Let's be respectful to body autonomy.
Oh my gosh. People still don't understand like the concept of bodily autonomy, but
let's not kill people. What else do we learn today? Don't commit genocide. Just respect your neighbors. Respect the planet.
Respect your wives, your spouses.
Don't be a hypocrite. A lot of things. Don't colonize. That's the most important.
Don't sexually assault minors.
Yeah.
Or people of adult age.
Don't end up on this list. Okay? Don't end up on the list. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone today.
Yeah. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't colonize other countries. Don't bring disease to other people. That's important. We need a pandemic, y'all.
That is very important.
Do not bring diseases to other people. Let me clarify that again. I'm sorry.
It is 2022, but let me say it one more time. Do
Wear your
not
mask.
bring diseases to other people.
Get vaccinated. Wear your mask. Get boosted.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, no, literally just okay, men, I'm sorry. We've talked
you guys
about
are on
this
the
before.
list.
Please just learn to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, and like maybe even a few times a day, because like I don't think y'all understand that that's nasty. Disgusting. Ew. Like, y'all need those signs like that are in restaurants where it's like employees must wash their hands. Like, you need that in your house because that's disgusting. Like, you shouldn't need to be told to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, but I'm here to remind you. I know
if
most of our listeners are women.
You're ending up on the list. If you don't do that, you're ending up on the list. So wash your hands.
Yes. I noticed that none of the people on this list were women, except for like we briefly mentioned like Queen Isabella because she was trash. But like, what were y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of horrible women as well.
Yes.
But these are just the ones that came to mind first. And that I think that says a lot about society.
Yeah, and the men had the power in society, so we just learn about all the men in history. We don't even learn about the women. So that's also a problem that we need to fix, because we need to be learning about the Rosalind Franklins and the Henrietta Laxes of the world, and not disgusting little like Christopher Columbus and glorifying this man and Andrew Jackson. Like, y'all were not good people. Why are you still like being glorified on the $20 bill? I don't get it. But thank you for listening to our roast.
Please, yes. Thank you so much. We'll be back one day, I'm sure. I'm sure we have more. We'll think of more people to roast. There's plenty in the world.
Yeah, we just had to let these feelings out because I have a lot of hate for them in my heart. Sometimes
you can't let it bottle up. You just have to release it to the world.
Yes. your frustrations with the white men of history.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but if you have any other people from history, men or women of any
don't
color,
discriminate.
we do not discriminate. If they were trash, they were trash. However, just because we mostly learn about old white men in history, this is like pretty much what the list is composed of. But please let us know if there's anyone else that you would like to roast. Just let it out. We're here to listen. We feel that.
Yeah, we'll be back. We got more to talk about one day.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. What else? I think that's it. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
76 Cents Pod.
Yes. We will update you when new episodes are coming out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any ideas for anything you would like us to talk about, please let us know. You can DM us at our Instagram, or if you have our numbers, text us, Snapchat, whatever. But yes, thank you to our loyal listeners.
Yeah, we passed $3 in ad revenue, so shout out to you guys.
Yes.
Hope you guys come back for the next episode.